Hi, everyone. How are you today? Um, I know this is a live, and I know sometimes there could be a bit of delay. So I might just wait just a quick moment. So I hope everyone is doing well. If you are in Atlanta, you are probably happy that the weather has warmed up a bit. So I am happy that it is nice and warm now. So I want to go ahead and just start off. Hi, branding coach. How are you? Thank you for joining. I'm just going to go ahead and start, just give you a quick introduction about myself. My name is Bianca Hughes, and I am an associate professional counselor at the Jordan Stones Counseling Center in Roswell, Georgia. And so I primarily see women. I specialize in perfectionism, helping women embrace their imperfections and authentically be themselves. So just to give you a quick background, perfectionism is just an exhausting cycle of trying to be enough or trying to be good enough, which often causes us a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear and can get in the way of our identity and our relationships. So for that reason, I help women just embrace the imperfections, just be themselves and just get comfortable being themselves. The real Anderson, you can't hear me? Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry, I also have people on Instagram live as well, and they're saying they can't hear me. Just hold on 1 minute. Let me see what I can do. I think because I have to take my case off. Hold on 1 moment. This is what happens when you do stuff live and things don't go right all the time, but it's okay. I'm going to continue. I'm still here. So I totally forgot. I bought a new phone and I haven't updated my case. So I'm so sorry for those guys. Let's see. So at least people were listening and they told me they can't hear. So let's hope I can get back to them. All right, sorry about that, guys. For those who I kind of lost, I hope you can hear me now. So I'll just start again, just in case you missed it. I am an associate professional counselor. Can you hear me, guys? Anyone who's listening on Instagram, can you just tell me if you can hear me? Because people are telling me, okay, good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I wanted to talk today about patience. I'll just give you a bit background. If you guys can hear, I am actually from London, born and raised, and I live in Atlanta. So I went home this past Christmas, I had a lovely time with my family and all my friends. And what happened is when I go home, I have to see everyone. And I remember just rushing and worrying a lot about, am I going to see everyone? Am I going to have enough time? And I just found at times I was having a really, really hard time to relax, and I was getting really anxious and wanted to hurry up and wanted people to make dates to come and see me, or I go and see them, just to make sure that I had my calendar all ready. And there were just moments I just had to remind myself, like, things will get done, they will get done in time, and things will just happen. Whoever you're going to see is whoever you're going to see. And so what happened was I just started to think back as a therapist. I just kind of do my own processing, and I just thought about, why am I rushing? What is the point of me rushing? And so, hi, you help you. What is the point of me rushing? Why am I doing all of this? And so I kind of came to a conclusion at the end, and I want to share the conclusion at the end, but of what I kind of came to in regards to me being impatient. And so, because I just felt like, why am I rushing? Where are these goals going? What am I trying to do? And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to share with you guys about embracing patience. So I'm going to give you three things about embracing patience, sort of like embracing patience, and 3 benefits of embracing patience. So I'm not trying to keep you guys long. If you have a question, thanks, I'm glad you got the sound. I'm not going to try and keep you guys long, but if you do have any questions, any comments, or you don't understand anything, just please let me know. So the first one about embracing patience. How do we embrace patience? And of course, patience is about waiting through the struggle without complaining, without murmuring. That's what patience is, right? Because we could wait, but patience is without the complaints. So in order to help us embrace patience, we have to look at a few things. So one of the first things I think that is really, really helpful is to take the time to stop and ask yourself questions, i.e., why am I rushing? Sometimes we're so much on autopilot, we don't even know why we do the things that we do. So why am I rushing? Is it because of my environment? Is it because of the people around me? Is it because of fears? What am I doing? What am I trying to achieve? Another question is just the kind of opposite. What would happen if I just took my time? What would the result be? And so you guys are like, oh, why are you asking me these questions? I love asking questions. That's one of my great superpowers, and that's what takes us time to stop and think. So that's the benefit. When we start asking questions, it gives us time to stop and think. And also it helps us become more self-aware about why are we doing the things that we do. Oh, thank you. I am Coop. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me know. So why am I asking these questions is about why am I doing this thing? Why am I rushing? What is the end result? Why can't I take my time? And so that might lead us to things asking us about, well, what's my environment like? Is everyone else around me rushing? Are my friends rushing? Are my family rushing? Maybe there's people in your life who are rushing you, keep asking you, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? When are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? When are you going to move out? When are you, so if you've got a whole bunch of people asking you questions and you're trying to prove yourself to them, that might be a reason why you find that you are impatient in what you are doing. So that's the first thing. Take time to ask yourself questions about why you're doing the things you're doing. Why are you rushing? Why can't I be patient? And with that helps you develop some self-awareness. So that's the first thing about embracing patience. The second thing is focusing on what you are doing. We have a tendency, especially women, to multitask. I know I find myself on the way home driving and I'm thinking about what am I going to do when I get home? I'm planning it all in my head. Now, this time when I'm driving, I could be enjoying the music, I could be singing along, but I'm not. I'm not being present. I'm already in the future. So that's about being present. Present is, have you ever taken the time to just drive with the music off? And then when you do that, you're kind of taking in different sceneries, different thoughts are coming in. You might be dreaming, whatever the case may be. But as long as you are not in the future and you're not planning what you're doing next, onto the next move, it can help you be present. It can help you be more patient. It can help you become more appreciative of where you are. And it can help you just be more focused. So that's the second one. Focus on what you are doing so you are not multitasking. You don't think about this because we're always planning ahead. What's our next move? What's our next goal? It stops us from just enjoying the moment. We always think that we have to have everything completed to be perfect, and that's not true. Nothing is going to be perfect anyway. Perfection is in your own eyes, but it really doesn't exist because nothing's perfect. But if we're so focused onto the next goal and what we're doing next, it doesn't give us the time to be in the moment, slow down, and also be patient. So that's the other thing I also want to share with you. So just focusing on the goal so that you're not multitasking. And everyone's going to be like, why can't I multitask? Well, when you multitask, you actually don't do everything that you need to do. So just focus on one thing. It's okay. Maybe you need to ask yourself, go back to my first point, ask yourself, why am I multitasking? What is the purpose of me multitasking? What do I get from multitasking? I get more things done. Yes, okay, I get that. However, when I get more things done, I still got more things to do. It doesn't take away from your task list. So, and you're never going to have everything done. So whatever you can do today, you can do today, and you'll do the rest of the stuff later on. Hi, Kimberly. Oh, thank you so much, Kimberly. And so we're going to go to the third one. Expectations. The big thing with perfectionism is unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations could be something as simple as having too many things on your task list, your to-do list, in one day, and then becoming overwhelmed because you're not meeting those expectations. Hi, Stacey. Because you're not meeting those expectations. So assess your expectations. And everyone's like, is this all patience? Yes, this is all to do with patience. If we assess our expectations and see if they are realistic, you have to ask yourself, are my expectations realistic? And most of the time they're probably not, because what happens is when we're trying to meet unrealistic goals and we're not meeting them, we get frustrated, we get anxious, and we get overwhelmed, and we tend to beat ourselves up saying, I'm not good enough, why can't I get all this done, I'm so stupid, I'm a loser, all those kind of things. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe your expectations were unrealistic? So once we start having realistic expectations, we don't put so much pressure on ourselves, and we don't become so impatient, and we begin to become more patient with ourselves. Other benefit of assessing our expectations is that we become more patient with ourselves, which is what we need to do. And that allows us to become more patient with other people. And when we become more patient with other people, oh, bye, see you, thank you. When we become more patient with other people, then we're able to better our relationships. And we'll be able to also be patient with the other people in our lives. We take time to listen. And anyone we interact with, we're able to take a step back. So I'll go back again to basically when we assess our expectations, that's to embrace the patience. The benefit of that is that we become more patient with ourselves and then more patient with other people. For example, I know that I have the worst patience if I'm on customer service, right? I have the best patience when I'm with my clients. When I'm driving, my patience is awful. But when I'm in a grocery store, I have quite a lot of patience. I used to work in one. I understand what those people go through. So my expectation is not for me to be in the grocery line and it to go really, really quickly. So if there's a long line, I just wait patiently until it's my turn, because I don't expect them to just have it all done perfectly. However, when I pick up the phone and I call customer service, I just think they should know everything, have my answers, and get it done quickly. Doesn't happen, right? And that goes back to my expectations. So then my expectation is not met, and I become impatient and I become frustrated. So, but we have to first practice that with ourselves first. And the other thing I want to mention about expectations is expectations versus standards, right? We always have standards. We always have things that we live by, right? But we cannot expect everybody else to live up to that. And even we have to question our own standards. Are our standards reasonable? Are our standards achievable, right? And that goes back again to expectations. Standards stay the same, but everybody else isn't. You can't expect everybody to meet that standard. And so if you don't have that, that's going to give you some more patience. Okay, I'll answer your question for you, no problem. And so that also, so expectations versus standards, okay? You can have your standard, can't expect everybody else to meet it, okay? So that's going to also help with your patience. So the last thing I want to hit on is, oh no, actually that was the third thing. I actually hit all three of them. That's perfect. And so I wanted to talk a bit about what I realized after I kind of told the story about me being in London and wanting to see everyone and kind of like worrying, am I going to see them, and getting really anxious and impatient when people weren't getting back to me and telling me when they were available and not available because I knew I had to come home soon. So I kind of did some, what's my rush? What's the goal? So I kind of asked myself a few questions, and what I realized is, and I'll share this with you. I wrote it down so I don't forget, because I also struggle with perfectionism as well. So what I realized is, when I associate getting things done with my worth, I can become impatient. And that is basically, if I'm able to achieve a goal, because again, perfectionism is a lot about achieving a goal, a lot about getting things done. And if I cannot do that, then I then get into fear that I might be rejected by others. I might let other people down, and I don't want to let other people down, and I don't want them to get upset with me, right? And so in that instance, I'm not feeling like I'm good enough. So it goes back to our goals. When we achieve a goal, we feel great, we feel happy, we feel wonderful, we feel like we've achieved something, we feel like we are worth somebody. And that was what I was able to find out and realize about why I just wanted to get things done, and I wanted to have it done a certain way. And so, because I'm basically not in a position to prove my worth. That's what I think, but that's not actually true. And so also, if I have and it's a big thing, I always talk about the blueprint. We have a blueprint in our mind of what things are meant to look like, be like, sound like. And when it's not fitting into that blueprint, then we get frustrated, overwhelmed, anxious, and we become impatient with all people. Like, why is this not happening? We become impatient with ourselves. Why is this not happening? Once again, so it's the blueprint. So always you've got to be flexible with the blueprint. And so it goes back to that sense, the root thing of the root cause is that unworthiness. If I don't get things done, if I'm not in a position to prove that I am good enough, now I begin to feel that and think that I'm unworthy. Doesn't mean it's true, but this is what's happening in the midst of us being impatient, right? It all goes back to the root, and you're like, how do you get that? It can't be, no way, no way. Ask yourself that question. I'm going to go back to my first point. If you don't get things done, what's the big deal? What's the concern? Of course, there are things that have a deadline, like paying your bills and things like that. Yes, but we can still do those things patiently. Oh, Stacey, realize you suffer with perfectionism, didn't realize it. That's cool, but it's not in everyone's life. And then the other thing, I'm going to come back and answer your questions as well. Yeah, definitely. And so the last thing I wanted to say is, getting things done more quickly does not dictate your worth or your value. Okay, I'll say that again. Getting things done more quickly does not dictate your worth or your value. Regardless of how long it takes, your value and your worth is still the same, right? I'll give you, I don't have any money, but I'll give you an example of this cup. If anyone can see this cup, it says Queen. Like, I bought this from London. And so the cup stays the same, right? Regardless of I put it over here, I put it over there, I put it over there, it's still gonna say Queen, unless of course I break it, which I probably won't, but it's still going to say Queen. It's still the same cup. Whether I drink what's in it quickly or I drink what is in it slowly, it still says Queen on the cup. Just like you. You are still a queen, you are still a king, regardless if you get stuff done quickly, slowly. However, that doesn't change, okay? So we got to be thinking about not attaching your worthiness to getting things done. So it goes back to the first point I made, and the first reason why I'm here is about embracing embracing patience, right? You have to begin to, again, embrace yourself, embrace your worth, and embrace your value, and not begin to attach that to getting things done. Thank you so much. So I have, if anyone has any questions, just come back to me. I know Coop had a question. What kind of clinical therapist are you? I am an associate professional counselor, and I am in Roswell, Georgia. And my specialization is perfectionism. So primarily with women, of course, and doing a lot of work on identity. I do a lot of work on identity, parental relationships. I tend to find that a lot of my clients, especially with the perfectionism, have some sort of challenges with their parents. A lot of women with their fathers. So there's also some mothers as well, but that is my main specialization, is perfectionism. And then you said, how do you develop such insight? Do you develop this on your own, or perhaps did this come from your own work with a therapist? My insight came from definitely doing my own work. Like I always tell people, it really, really helps. Like some person said this to me, is that us as therapists, we can go deep. The more deeper we do our own work, the more work we do ourselves, the deeper we can go with our clients. So yes, I have done a lot of work personally as myself as a therapist. And so, and then also just noticing patterns within my own clients. So being able to identify what's going on with me helps me identify what's going on with my own clients. But there's definitely a lot of reflection as a therapist, and I don't stop reflecting. I journal. I take time out to rest. I talk with my own friends to get feedback. I have a lot of therapist friends, of course, so that's a great benefit. And so we have very deep conversations, very open and vulnerable, intimate conversations. So that also helps a lot too. So I hope that answered your question. I am Coop. If you have any more questions, just let me know. I hope that definitely helps. So yeah, that's how insight is developed. So did anyone have any, because of course I know it's late, so I'm not trying to keep anyone too late. Did anyone else have any questions in regards to patience or embracing patience, or you didn't really like what I said, which is fine too, and you want to know why, or you want to delve into it more, just let me know. Hi, thanks, Rob. Thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's good. Kind of like peer support and supervision. Thank you. You answered yes. Yes, exactly like peer support and supervision. I will tell you honestly, doing supervision has helped a lot. Anytime I've become stuck or there's been some counter transference, my supervisors be like, all right, you might want to go check that out and go to therapy. And so I immediately go to therapy, and that helps me get unstuck, so then I can help my other clients get unstuck. Hi, time to reflect. Anyone else have any questions in regards to embracing patience, or the benefits of patience, or perfectionism? Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, everyone. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope that was all really helpful. If you are on Instagram, you will see this live for a little bit, or you can go to my Facebook page if you ever wanted to this go back and see it, or share it with anyone else, and I'll also put it on my YouTube page. So my YouTube, if you just go to my website, which is biancahughes.com, and then you can have the link to my YouTube, and then my Facebook is Bianca Hughes, APC. You should be able to find me. So as I said, last thing, just to remind you guys, getting things done. Oh yeah, one more question. Sure, I'll answer your one more question. And one person has one more question. I'll answer whatever it is. Do I operate from a particular orientation? Okay. Are you a therapist? I have a therapist. I'm not sure if they're a therapist. They're asking me what orientation. So I'll just help break that down. In therapy, we have different orientations, different ways of doing therapies and working with our clients. And so for me personally, yeah, those two that you definitely asked me, CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, for those who might not know, and that is looking at our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. So basically our thoughts impact how we feel and then impact how we act. And I am a true believer, like, I don't know if you guys ever heard, but change your thoughts, change your life. Okay. And so that's why I ask a lot of questions to help people stop and think about what's going on. I definitely do some psychodynamic, and psychodynamic work is going back to childhood. I'm looking at the root issues, right? What caused you to do the things that you're doing? Because I believe, just like a tree, if you have a tree and you can get to the root of the tree, and you take out the root and you can cut the tree from the root, then it's not going to grow back, right? Kind of like the bad fruit won't grow back. And so I definitely do a lot of psychodynamic, and it also helps my clients see why they are the way they are, because sometimes we think we are the way we are, just it's all us, and sometimes we just feel like we're a bad person, and there's a lot of shame is I'm a bad person. And so once we take a look at our environments and see what's going on in our environments and the people that we're around, then we're able to see that, oh, this is why I do the things we do, or this is why I do whatever. So, and I also do some solution focused as well. So solution focused means like, okay, what can we do now in the sense of how can we move forward? What are some things that are going to be helpful for you? So those are the main ones that I do. Thank you for asking. So again, thank you so much. So just remember, getting things done. And if you want to talk to me offline, I am Coop. Yes, I am. If you want to talk to me offline, I think you are a therapist as well, but if you want to talk to me, you can definitely email me. And yes, I am accepting new clients in Roswell. Okay. Getting things done more quickly, like I said, getting things done more quickly does not dictate your worth or your value. Regardless of how long something takes to do, your worth and your value is still the same. So I just really want to give that to you guys, just so you can remember that. So that would, again, going back to the root issue of being impatient, to do with feeling unworthy and not getting things done. So thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Andrea. So thank you so much for joining. I hope I answered all of your questions, but of course, if you've got more, easiest way to find me is on my website, www.biancakehughes.com. On Instagram, I'm Authentically Be You. I just got onto Twitter, Authentically, and then B, the letter B, and then U, the letter U. And then on Facebook, I'm Bianca Hughes, APC. So there's a whole bunch of different ways you can get me, but if you didn't all get that, just go to my website, biancakehughes.com, and you can find all different ways to contact me. So thank you so much, and thank you for everybody who watched in. I am Coop, Andrea, Stacy, and everyone else who's watching, Rob and Kimberly. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. And if you want to share it, please, you are welcome to share. Thank you so much. Bye.